Third grade, today we're on lesson 37. Make sure you got your name at the top. Then go ahead, rock out your facts, do your mental math, take a look at your problem of the day. When you're done, press play and we'll correct them together. 8 times 8 is 64. 2 times 9 is 18. 1 times 2 is 2. 5 times 7 is 35. 1 times 5 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 1 is 1. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 2 is 10. 6 times 6 is 36. 9 times 5 is 45. 3 times 3 is 9. 6 times 5 is 30. 2 times 4 is 8. 6 times 2 is 12. 7 times 9 is 63. 5 times 8 is 40. 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 7 is 14. 4 times 5 is 20. 8 times 2 is 16. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 2 is 4. 10 times 10 is 100. 7 times 5 is 35. 0 times 2 is 0. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 9 is 45. 7 times 7 is 49. 0 times 0 is 0. 7 times 2 is 14. 8 times 5 is 40. 4 times 2 is 8. 0 times 5 is 0. 2 times 8 is 16. 9 times 2 is 18. 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 4 is 16. Count down by fives from 150 to 50. 150, 145, 140, 135, 130, 125, 120, 115, 110, 105, 100, 95, 90, 85, 80, 75, 70, 65, 60, 55, 50. A 780 minus 200. 0 minus 0 is 0. 8 minus 0 is 8. 7 minus 2 is 5. B 870 minus 230. 0 minus 0 is 0. 7 minus 3 is 4. 8 minus 2 is 6. 640. C 157 plus 19. 7 plus 9 is 16. 1 goes up, 6 comes down. 1 plus 5 is 6. Add the 1 is 7. 1 plus nothing is 176. D says 58 plus 6. 8 plus 6 is 14. 1 plus 5 is 6. E. The needle is pointing to what number on this scale? Well, when we're trying to find how many spaces are in between these numbers, we've got a couple options. We can try 1, try 2, try 5, try 10, try 20, try 25, try 50, try 100. Those are just all our standard numbers that these will go by. So let's try 2s first, because looks like there's not 20 spaces there, so it can't be 1s. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. That's not going to work. Let's try 5. 0, 5, 10, 20, 0, 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, that's right. So keep going. 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. It's pointing at 45. F. Altogether, how many sides do 4 triangles have? Well, one triangle is going to have 3 sides. So 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, 3 here. What's 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, or 3 times 4? Well, 3 times 4 is 12, so it's got to have 12 sides on 4 triangles. G, estimate. Choose the more reasonable estimate for the diameter of a music CD. 12 centimeters or 12 meters? Think about our rulers. Those are all little centimeters, so is a CD going to be about 12 centimeters, or is it going to be 12 meters, like 6 of me stacked on top of each other? Ooh, yeah, 12 centimeters. 12 meters is way too long. H, calculate 3 times 3 times 3 plus 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 plus 3 is 30. Problem solving. Choose an appropriate problem-solving strategy to solve this problem. The rectangle shown represents how a plot of land will be divided among 4 owners. Area C is the same size as area D. Areas C and D together equal B. Areas B, C, and D all equal A. What fraction of the whole rectangle is each area? So we look here. This looks like it's divided in half, right? So A is 1/2 of the whole. If this is 1/2 and B is divided in half here, if we would kind of picture that here too, and we had 1, 2, 3, 4 sections, B is 1/4 of the whole. Now if we make all the sections the same size as sections as C and D, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total pieces. So C is 1 of those 8 pieces, and D is also 1 of those 8 pieces. All right? Go ahead and flip it over and we'll learn. Class, today we're on lesson 37. Today we're going to learn how to read fractions and mixed numbers from a number line. Now, when we're thinking about a mixed number, remember that was a number that has a whole number and a fraction. So like 3 1/2, or 8 4/5. Okay? Now, today, when we're going to look at our whole numbers, and then we're going to have to determine what our fraction is. Example 1 says, what number is the arrow pointing to? Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to notice that it's between 5 and 6. But it's not all the way to 6 yet, so we're going to have to use the lower number as our whole number. Okay, so 5 is our whole number. Then we need our fraction. Now, to get the bottom number of our fraction, remember if we had a circle like this, or a rectangle, or something like that, we'd count how many total pieces there are. We're going to do the same, but on a number line that looks like how many spaces are there. So, how many spaces are between 5 and 6? 1, 2, 3, 4. See how there are 4 spaces there? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of like our 4 pieces when we had a circle. So our bottom number is going to be 4. And then our top number is going to be, which tick mark are we looking at? First, second, third. Okay, so we're at the third tick mark, so that'd be 5 3/4. All right? Let's try it again with example example 2. We'll start with letter A. First, let's determine our whole number. We're between 17 and 18, so we know we have to use 17 because it's not quite to 18 yet. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to count my spaces between 17 and 18, right? I just want my spaces in one piece. I don't want all of the spaces, just in between 17 and 18. That's one number. So 1, 2, 3, 4 again. And then I'm looking at the first, second, third space. So I get 17 3/4. Let's do it for B also. I'm between 36 and 37, so I know I got to use the 36 because I'm not quite to 37 yet. Use my fraction bar, count the spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pieces, and then which space am I looking at, or which tick mark am I looking at? First, second, third, fourth. So 4 is going to be my top number. So I get 36 4/8. Okay? On this one, C, let's figure out where is 23 and 1/2. 23 and 1/2. Can it be in front of the 23? No. You know it's going to be on this side. Okay, so 1/2. 1, 2, 3. Well, there's 4 spaces here. So if we were going to have 1/2, we get a circle, and we're going to shade in 1/2 of it. If all of a sudden there were fourths, how many fourths would that be? 1, 2. Okay, so 2/4 equals 1/2. It's the same thing. So if this is fourths, I need to find the second one to get 1/2. 1, 2. Boom. Right here. So here's going to be 23 and 1/2. Now, right here, if I put a big dot there, does it look like it's about halfway between 23 and 24? Yeah. So that's where my 23 and 1/2 is going to be. Let's also try it with 9 and 1/4. See if there are 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. There are 4 spaces. So I need to find the first one after the 9. So find a 9. Then the first one after that would be 1/4. So I'm right there. I put a big dot there. 9 and 1/4. Excellent. Lesson practice. Let's name a couple fractions here. If I look at this one, A, I'm between the 0 and the 1. I'm not to 1 yet, so it's going to be a 0. Since it's just a 0, I don't have to write that, so this one's just going to be a fraction answer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there are 4 spaces. And which one is it after the 0? 1, 2, 3. So this is 3/4. Let's do the same thing with B. It's between 1 and the 2. So I got to use the 1. It's my whole number. Count the spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm looking at the first one. So I get 1 and 1/4. C, I'm between the 2 and the 3. So I got to use the 2 because I'm not quite to the 3 yet. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 spaces. And after the 2, I'm looking at the first one. So I'm at 2 and 1/4. D, once again for D, I'm in front of the 1, so there's no whole number because 0, I don't need to put that there because there's no whole number. How many spaces between 0 and 1? 2. It's the first space, so it'd be 1/2. Okay, same thing with this one, 1 and 2. Well, I gotta use the 1. There's 2 spaces, and it's the first one after the 1, so 1 and 1/2. Excellent. Let's get rocking on some of our problems together. Make sure your name's at the top, and then we'll get started with number 2. Number 2 says, if the length of the Sabine River in Texas were 50 miles longer, it would be the same length as the Wisconsin River. The Wisconsin River is 430 miles long. How long is the Sabine River? Well, at the beginning, you heard the problem say if it were 50 miles longer, it would be the same length. So the Sabine River is shorter by 50 miles than the Wisconsin River. So let's subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0. 3 minus 5, can't do that. Cross out the 4, make it a 3. Change the 3 into 13. 13 minus 5 is 8. 3 minus nothing is 3. So we get 380 miles. Number 5, what mixed number is the arrow pointing to? Well, first, let's look at what's our whole number. We're between the 11 and the 12, so we got to use the 11. Let's count the spaces first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces. So 11 and something over 8. Now let's count which tick mark we're at. 1, 2, 3. So 11 and 3/8. 11 and 3/8. Number 6. Draw a rectangle whose length is 5 centimeters and whose width is 3 centimeters. What is the perimeter? Remember, perimeter is the distance around. So you do 5 plus 5 plus 3 plus 3. 5 plus 3 is 8. 5 plus 3 is 8. So 8 plus 8 is 16. That's not a 6. 16 centimeters. Moving on down to number 10. The morning of an important game, Gail woke up at the time shown on the clock. She wanted to wake up 2 hours and 35 minutes later. What time did Gail want to wake up? Well, we can look at the clock, and the clock says it's 4:25. So what would be 2 hours and 35 minutes later? Well, later time we can add it on there. 5 plus 5 is 0. 10. 1 goes up, 0 goes down. 1 plus 2 is 3. Plus 3 is 6. 4 plus 2 is 6. Well, is 660 a time? No, that doesn't make sense. Well, 660, if it was 6:59, it would almost be what? Well, when it gets a minute after 6:59, it turns to 7 o'clock. So it's 7 o'clock a.m. That's the time she wanted to wake up. Last one we'll do together is number 30. In Barrow, Alaska, the average maximum temperature in July is 47 degrees. The average minimum temperature is 34 degrees. It says how many degrees cooler is a temperature of 34 degrees compared to 47? How much cooler? I gotta find the difference between them. 13 degrees Fahrenheit. Excellent. Do your best on the rest of your problems. And if you've got any questions, make sure you ask at our 1 o'clock Zoom.